So hello everyone and welcome to THiNC Institute of Design live session. Today is a big day for all those who appeared the NIFT 2025 B.Des entrance examination. And we are here to break down everything you need to know about the B.Des entrance examinations. So from the questions to the patterns and the key takeaways. So we have got you covered all in today's analysis sessions. And today we have along with me our design faculty, Nime ma'am, for discussing the CAT section, the creativity part also. And let's move on to the analysis section. So uh, today with as two sections. The first section as the GAT part and the second session as the CAT section. So today was the NIFT entrance examinations for Bachelor of Design, for BF Tech, and also the Master's program. And in this exclusive live, we will be discussing on the Bachelor of Design examinations. So let's get started into the main analysis. And according to our poll, in general, the Bachelor of Design, the NIFT examination was moderate. You can definitely see on the screen like 52.74 students has voted as moderate and easy as 31.84. So on the majority side, the Bachelor of Design examination was on the moderate side. So let's get to know. So what are the other major takeaways on today's Bachelor of Design entrance examinations? So let's look into one by one. So initially, we will get you into the basic general exam summary, and we'll break down the each section, the GAT part first, and also the CAT section. And uh, first, the language section. So I think today's examination was quite surprising with new entries into the examination pattern. So one of the such question was in the language section. It was quite interesting, like some different languages were given and to translate those questions. So that type of question was quite new for the NIFT examination pattern. And one of the major change for this year's entrance examination was the introduction of the logical reasoning section, which is exclusively the image-based logical reasoning. So usually these kind of image-based logical reasoning questions were asked in the NID and UCEED examination, but now it's happening on the NIFT entrance examination also. I think it's uh, it's on the first time they have been introducing this logical reasoning-based image-based questions in the NIFT examination pattern. Usually it's like quite a textual content, basically on the quantitative aptitude and reasoning type. But this year they have been introducing the image-based logical reasoning question, and that was one of the major takeaways for this year's examination. And I think majority of the students, the GK section was quite difficult. So I think most of them have a review on the GK section in that way. It was quite difficult. It was not as expected. I think means comparing to the current affairs more, I think the static GK has been asked for the GK sections. And the CAT section, which is the second section, the creative ability test, the drawing section was comparatively easier. We will discuss more on those section in the upcoming slide. And I think one of the important thing, some quite interesting fact they tell about the language section was the comprehension type of questions in which uh, it was quite a headache. Like the interface was quite confusing, like they need to horizontally and vertically scroll down to see the entire question. I think that was quite difficult they have mentioned. And there was, I think, 10 comprehension questions. So that was quite time consuming also. So that was one headache on the examination interface regarding the comprehension type. And guys, right now it's going live. So if you have any kind of doubts, so mention that in the live section. So we will discuss also in this particular live. And yeah, so let's move on to the in-depth analysis. So first we'll be discussing the CAT section, the general ability test, which is for 100 marks. So initially we will look into the communication ability and English comprehension section, and which is of 40 questions. And I think the pattern was quite what they already mentioned, the number of questions you can expect in the comprehension ability and the communication ability and the English comprehension. And we were expecting so many type of questions like uh, antonyms, synonyms, then spelling correction, then sentence rearrangement, so passive and active voice, then indirect and indirect phrasal verbs. So all those kind of questions, topics we're expecting, and as usual, those topics were asked for the language part. Most importantly, the comprehension section were there. And the interesting question, two question was translating sentence to English, I think Hindi, and I guess it's Spanish, I guess. Uh, some word has been given and they need to convert it into the English or the meaning to the English. So that was one interesting question. I think that particular question was the new major addition to the pattern for the language section. I think all other topics were quite expecting, like the passive voice to active voice, then antonyms, synonyms, direct and indirect speech. So all those topics were expecting. So nothing more new on that language and comprehension section. So coming back to the quantitative ability. So there were 20 questions, and I think even the quantitative ability topics were around 20 or 25 topics. And I think they have covered almost topics for the quantitative ability. So few of the topics which has been from the review, some of the topics which mentioned by students were the percentage, then mean, median, mode type of question, then profit and loss, compound interest, and section formula related question. I think that was specifically for the BF Tech, I guess. And for the bachelor design, these kind of topics, percentage, profit and loss, compound interest. So those topics were asked. Only these are some few of the topics. There were also other topics. And this is one of the sample question. And back to the analytic and logical ability. So it was quite surprising this year. Usually the reasoning type of questions were only asked in this particular section, only reasoning type, like blood relation or series or direction sense or type of questions. So only or number series, alphabet series, odd one. So that kind of question was expected actually in the analytical and logical ability. Surprisingly, they have introduced the image-based questions this year, and that was a surprise from the NIFT. And some figure counting questions were there, and also blood relation oriented question were also there in the analytical and logical part of the NIFT GAT section, which is the general ability tech section. And from those section, there were around 15 questions. So that was basically for the GAT section. And moving to the GK part, I think most of the students mentioned it as quite difficult. And I think most of the questions were quite static GK, not the current affairs type. The number of questions from the current affairs was relatively low. Static GK was on the upper hand in the GK section, and general knowledge and current affairs. 25 questions were there from the GK section, and these are the few questions, which is the largest freshwater lake in India, and which lines make smooth and roundness in garments, who appoints the governor in India, author of Pride and Prejudice. Then Vasco da Gama found India to make trade easy with which country? And forever faster is tagline of which company? And meaning of the term Trade Potter. And handloom day based questions were there. These are only quite some questions. Again, so if you guys have any kind of doubts or queries, so please do that in the comment section. And guys, we would like to introduce, before we moving to the CAT section from Nimamam, so we would like to introduce the exclusive batch, the Craftix, a preparatory workshop course on NID and NIFT second phase. So first phase of all these examinations were over. NID is already over. And today, NIFT, and we'll be eagerly waiting for the next upcoming examination, which is the second phase of all these examinations. So it's a small preparatory session as a preparatory workshop session. So we are introducing the Craftix batch, an exclusive 3-day online workshop session just for 99 rupees. And we will be launching this on February 2025. So those who want to register for this particular batch, definitely you can call to the number 8086 11216 for more details. So please remember that the Craftix batch, which is a preparatory workshop session for NID and NIFT second phase. So let's move on to the CAT section. So I welcome Nime ma'am for explaining all the detailed analysis of the CAT section. So Nime ma'am, over to you.
Okay. Thank you so much, sir. Okay, so hi, Sam here to explain, take a quick analysis about the CAT session that we had today. Okay, so like we already know, like there'll be like probably there is always a pattern, a 3 question pattern, and a 3 hours pattern. So it was the same like always. But when we compare the previous year questions and today's question paper, there is almost a similar predictable questions that we can that is the NIFT used to give a kind of a product design question and also a pattern design question. So it was a predictable questions, but there is always a twist, and they try to give a twist. But if you really look into the questions, you can easily understand. But when I discussed with my some of my students, they were a little confused about is this really is supposed to do, or is this a very direct question? So is this supposed we do or not? So they are a little confused about the how they answer the questions. But it was when I asked the opinions about the questions, they said it was it was easy, as well as easy question comparatively, especially comparing with the mock test and model exams with the think the thing provided. So it was really easy, especially to the thing students. The first question was a product design question. Okay, and it weighted 40 marks. Like always, it's usually like a 40-30-30 pattern. So the first question was itself a 40-mark question. And okay, so usually for NIFT, there is always a different types of product design question they used to ask. Sometimes it might be a personality related question that we have to discuss, design something, a product which is representing our personality, or it can be something related to aesthetics, or it can be related to client. So this time they have asked a product design which is related to a client, mostly the client oriented, rather than giving importance to aesthetics. Okay, it's not like we cannot give aesthetics, we have to give aesthetics, but along with that, we have to give a lot of importance to client too, because usually there is a chance, because it's NIFT. Everybody tried to used to say that NIFT is giving focus on aesthetics and color, so we have to give concentration to that. But here in this question, first question was design a lighting device for any one of the following: for an embroider, for a book reader enthusiast who wants to read in bed, makeup artist. So this is completely activity related. So we have to think about what was the activity, and what, for example, for embroider, it has to be something which should, when they are doing embroidery, uh, it should be very clear, right? So the light should be that much power, but it also it should have power, but it should not also affect the eyes, right? So we have to think about it in such a way, and also it should not be carried, because the both hand is already included during embroidery. So in that case, we cannot create a light or design a light which is already a separate piece. We can actually try to attach with some, attach with the frame if you want. And also, if you read the second option, the book reader enthusiast who wants to read in bed, it's not just a light for a book reader, but also they also said where they is used. A reader who wants to read in bed. So it was easy if they mentioned only just book reader. We can think about when they use when they are reading books at the table, something like that. So you can think about a stability, a stable, structured light is fine. But here there is also a movement, because when we are in bed, we will be probably leaning back and sitting down, sitting, or we will be like lying down, or we will just turn around. So there is a problem of probability of lot of movement happening to the reader and the book. So when the reader is moving, the light should also move, right? So it should not, it should be adjustable easily. So we have to think about in that way too, like the activity that is happening during the client is interacting with the product. So here I think it was little sometimes people might think they have to give concentration on aesthetics, but you have to. But if you want to, you can. Maybe you can just say an embroiderer. Maybe you can say you are designing for an aged person, because probably an elderly person likes to do embroidery. Maybe you can give more emphasis, or you narrow down the client details if you want to. Okay, so that is also that is how you have to do the product design. So I hope you have uh, done it very well. And also the presentation plays an important role. The presentation also, and how it communicate the design, how it communicate, it's very important. So I think that might be the criteria of the first question. So it's very important to think about the criteria. Whatever the question is, thinking about criteria is very important. So the client, and how it functions, and also the aesthetics, and also I think the write up also, the right description also plays an important role. So you have the opportunity how you express and how you relate with it, how you empathize. So it also make you score. The right description plays an important role for the product design question. Okay, and moving to the second question, rendering. So which was the most confusing question when I discussed with my students, because it looked like a very direct question, like draw and properly render any one of the following. The options were favorite content on your phone, holding your book, holding your teacup and tray. So it looks like just just a visual, like holding your book, or something like holding your favorite, holding your favorite content on your phone, holding your teacup. It looks very direct. But here also you can try thinking differently, like you can try portraying your answer in a unique way. You can think about different types of rendering. Rendering is not just giving pencil colors. You can also uh, render it with colors. You can also with okay, there is like an art movement called Fauvism. There are different kinds of art movements, and if every art movement portrays a rendered form, but in a different style. So you can also think about that. Like you can also create a rendering style with the colors, but it will take a little time. So if whatever it was convenient, it is fine. It is a direct question, but if you want to think in a unique way, if you want to score a little bit of marks more than the usual, I think that is also an option to render it in a different way. Okay, and if you look at the option, that is also an important part, because here also the favorite content on your phone, holding your book, holding your teacup and tray, which means it's not just content on your content. It's not your favorite content on phone. It's not holding book. It's not holding teacup. It's like your. So it's like the question is pointing upon you. So you, when whatever you're drawing, you have to showcase what you likes. For example, okay, if there is the third option is holding your teacup and tray, and I would like to show the teacup which includes a green tea, and I'll show a green tea packet nearby the table, on the near the tray, if I want to, and which shows I'm a health conscious person, if I want to. Okay, so like that, whatever you are, and even the shape of the teacup also portrays what you are or what you are interested in. Okay, if I am a person who is very, likes minimalistic design, or a person who likes traditional types of design, that design is also conveying through the shape, or through the pattern of teacup or tray, that portrays what are you and what you like, right? So that is also one way that you can make the answer different than the usual. And other than that, the direct points like relative proportion, and how you compose the frame, that is also will be evaluation criteria for this part, I think. So that is about rendering. And the final question was, okay, it was a pattern making question, the pattern creating drawing pattern questions. Okay, basically it's a 2D composition question, like they asked to create a grid which forms many boxes, right? So and the question was, the option was fashion in Paris, Indian food, Japanese Zen garden. Okay, so here the grid will looks like a check pattern. I mean, like a boxy pattern, right? It will be a box. But so what happens is usually we will be tempted to draw everything inside the box. Okay, it's not necessary. We can combine two box together. We can combine three box together, or we can alter the shape of the box. We can make the edges different. So there is a lot of option to create to change the grid pattern. Okay, but it should be inside a grid, but we can actually alter the look of the pattern. And also brainstorming the textures and colors given is also important. So it will convey what all you have brainstormed. For example, fashion in Paris, that was the first option. So fashion in Paris means, so if you think fashion is colorful, it's up to you. It's also think about what how you interpret that question. So if you think the fashion is very sustainable, you can actually show a fashion. Or maybe if you think fashion is very stylish, you can show very stylish lines, or very lines which shows movement. That's up to you. And also it's not just fashion, it's fashion in Paris. Okay, so like we have already seen the Olympics medal which was happened at Paris. So here there the ribbon they used for the emblem, for the medal. There they have shown the truss structure, the patterns of Eiffel Tower, which represents the elements of Paris. So if you can try to put the patterns, or try to brainstorm all these patterns, and if you try to make a composition with all these pattern and color, that will be also a good answer. And when I discussed, most of them chose Indian food because it was directly connected with the colors. It was easy to pick the colors, the spice, and the different colors we use. So it was very easy to connect with Indian food. So most of the answers was I think related to, most of the students chosen in Indian food. But if the people who have chosen the other options will stand out. Okay, but it's not like that. It's completely depend on how you answered. And the third, Japanese Zen garden. Okay, first of all, we won't be having an idea what is Japanese Zen garden. So we will be probably looking at two words, Japanese and garden, and we don't know how the Japanese garden looks like. So it's better. So I think it's very rare that students might have chosen that option because they don't know what is that. But just basically, Japanese and garden is a miniature or a garden setup which started to create a combination of garden. It's a garden basically combining stones and nature together for a meditation purpose. Basically, started from Buddha. It started for Buddhist for meditating, and a place to meditate. But so in that scenario, you can also, if you doesn't know about anything related to Japanese scene, you can also try to connect with the term garden if you want to. So that is also a way that you can uh, connect or answer these questions. So these were the three questions. So the first question was 40 marks, and the two other questions was 30 marks each. So I hope you guys have answered well. But so whatever I discussed right now, it's not, so we can't say that this is the answer. We cannot say a fixed answer always. But whatever you have done is also another answer. I'm just saying another option which you can make it stand out. That's it. Okay. So all the best, everyone. I hope you have done well.
So thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much. I think that was well explained analysis on the drawing part. So I think it's quite interesting, like this year's drawing examination. I think it's quite similar to the NAD's tricky part, I guess, right, ma'am?
Yes, right. Actually, it looks like direct question, but it has some other part. It's they are trying to connect with something related to an NID part. Yeah, NID
Yes,
question.
exactly. So, ma'am, we have a question on the live chat box. So, I will consider that too. So, the question was, ma'am, in Indian food, I did not depict any food items. So, is that okay? I made with only triangles, circle denoting spices, and hot food with a red and orange color.
Yeah, actually, you can do it. It's not necessary you have to always show the exact shapes or exact forms. Okay, you can try creating a abstract forms. That is also fine. Yeah, I think it will be okay.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. And there was a question from Priya, like, is 60 a good score in GAT? So Priya, it's quite difficult to predict right now. So what exactly is a good score? But again, I think 68 is a pretty good score. Um, Comparing like the GAT section is out of 100. So I think 68 is a quite good score because we don't have an idea like what will be the cutoff or something like that, or what exactly will be the nature of the scoring for this year. So only after some more analysis we will get an idea on what might be the cutoff or what might be a good score. But I guess out of 100, 68 is a quite good score. I guess I'm not saying it's a confirmation from my side, our side, like it might be a good score, the 68. So, so that's it, guys. So once again, I think you have a very good explanation from Nimai ma'am also on the cat section. And once again, I would like to like remind you on the Craftix means batches, which is an online 3-day workshop session which is a preparatory workshop session on NID and NIFT. Second phase, exclusively on the second phase, which is the studio test and the situation test. It's a 3-day online workshop, so just for only 99 rupees. So if you have any kind of doubts or queries, definitely you can call to this number for admission doubts also, for inquiries also, which is 8086 111 So, and also we have the repeaters batches coming all the way. So again, if you have any queries on or doubts on the repeaters batch, the exclusive batch dedicated for a 1-year course program, so definitely you can call for the inquiries on those batches also, which is 8086111216. So I think with that note, we will wind up for now. So I think every NIFT aspirant has done well in today's examination, I hope. And we wish you all the best for the preliminary round. And yeah, guys, so with that note, we will wind up for now. So thank you, guys. Thank you so much. And thank you, Nima, ma'am, for joining. And thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you.